Hey, so today we're having a look at HCF and LCM. Now there's two main things we need to know for this topic. The first one being your prime factor trees and the second one Venn diagrams. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do both in this video, okay? Now LCM stands for lowest common multiple. What does that mean? That means what number do both of these numbers go into, okay? So for example, 2 and 3, they both go into 6. Highest common factor means what number do these both, what is the biggest factor that goes into both of these numbers. So for example, off the top of your head, the biggest factor that goes into 10 and 20 is 10. 10 goes into 10 and 10 goes into 20. But now let's have a look at how to answer some harder questions, okay? So this question is asking me to work out the HCF and LCM of 20 and 45. First of all, we're going to start off with our prime factor trees. So 20's prime factor tree is 2 and 10, 2 and 5, 5 and 1. We're just going to circle the left-hand side, giving us 2 times 2 times 5. Okay, please don't group these up. Leave them written out in one straight row, okay? Don't group up the numbers. Again, 45, my factors for 45 are 5 and 9. In 9, we've got 3 and 3, okay? And in 3, I've got 3 and 1. So let's just circle these. That's going to be 3 times 3 times 5. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how to create your Venn diagram. I've got two numbers here only, so I'm going to create two circles that overlap. Okay? I'm sorry, mine's wonky. I can't draw. Okay, so this circle is based for the 20 and this one is for the 45. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the matching numbers. Okay, so in this case, I've got a matching 5, so I'm going to put a 5 in the middle. Okay, so I'll just cross off a 5 from each one. Now, these two don't have many very matching numbers. On the 20 side, we've got 2 2s. And on the 45 side, we've got 3 3s. Okay? 2 3s, sorry. Now, my biggest hint to you, to work out HCF, you just multiply the numbers. And I'm going to write this down. You just multiply the numbers that are overlapped. Okay? For HCF, you only multiply numbers in the middle. In this case, I have one number, which is easy. Only multiply numbers in the middle. However, for LCM, you multiply all the numbers in the Venn diagram. So you're going to multiply all of these numbers out. Multiply all numbers in the Venn diagram. Okay, so it doesn't matter if this is slightly a bit confusing right now. The more you practice this, the easier it will become, okay? So for HCF, all the numbers in the Venn diagram are just 5. So the highest common factor, okay, the biggest factor that goes into 20 and 45 is just 5. Now to work out LCM, however, you need to multiply all the numbers in the Venn diagram. It's very important you do your Venn diagram, guys, and just don't multiply all these numbers out. You'll get it wrong, okay? So I need to do 2 times 2 times 5 times 3 times 3. Oh my god, how am I going to do this without a calculator? Okay, let's break it down. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 times 2 is 90. 90 times 2 is 180. So my LCM is 180. What does that mean? That means the only number that 20 and 45 go into, the smallest number that 20 and 45 both go into is 180. So we worked out the HCF is 5 and the LCM is going to be 180. Okay, so the easiest ways to learn this topic is just to practice lots of questions. You have all your information there. Just practice questions, okay? So I'm going to do one more example for you and then I'm going to give you guys an example to do. My one is going to be 120 and 150. I'm going to show you how to work out the LCM and the HCF. So first of all, I'm going to create my trees. So 2, 60, 2, 30, 2, 15, 3, 5. In 5, I've got 5 and 1. Just going to circle these. Don't group them up together, please. Just write it out. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Very clearly because we're going to do a bit of crossing off, okay? In this one, we've got 2, 75, 3, 25, 5, 5, 5, and 1. I'm just going to circle this row. On this row, I've got 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. Please write it down clearly and you'll understand why in a sec, why you don't want to group it up. Now, again, I'm going to draw my 2 circles. Sorry, they look like potatoes. Okay, so this one is 120 and this is 150. Now, I'm going to look at my 2 rows. What do they have in common? They have a 2 on this side and a 2 on this side. That goes in the middle. I've got a 3 here and I've got a 3 here. I'll put that in the middle. I've got a 5 here and a 5 here. That goes in the middle. Now, looking at both of these rows, I don't have anything else matching. In this case, I've got a 2 and a 2. So on this side, I'll put a 2 and a 2. And on this side, I've got a 5. So I'll just put down a 5. Okay? Now, again, HCF, I literally multiplied the overlapping bit. Okay? So the ones that they have matching. Okay? So for HCF, I will be multiplying the middle row, which is going to be 2 times 3 times 5. 2 times 3 times 5. Let's break it down. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. The biggest factor that goes into 120 and 150 is going to be 30. Now let's have a look at LCM. Sometimes LCM is a little bit tricky, but we just break this down, okay? I've got 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5, okay? Now look at this question. I'm going to give you a trick that I learned when doing this question is to always multiply the big numbers first, especially on a non-calculator paper. Because 5 times 5 is going to be 25. Okay, so cross these off. 25 times 3 is going to be 75. 75 times 2 is 150. 150 times 2, 300. 300 times 2, 600. Okay, so 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 is going to be 600. Again, break it down. If you don't break it down, if you do just this bit, 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, 8 times 3, which is 24, and you do 24 multiplied by 25, you can literally do 24 times 25 on the side. You've got rough paper, all the space is yours to do working out, use it as you please, okay? So the LCM is going to be 600 and the HCF is going to be 30. So sometimes the question will just ask you for one of them, but just remember your main rule. For HCF, it's just the middle of the Venn diagram, and for LCM, it's everything in the Venn diagram, okay? Make sure you draw a Venn diagram. Don't try to do it without the Venn diagram. It will get tricky and you might get confused, okay? So this is how to do LCM and HCF. Create your trees, create your Venn diagram, and work it out. Okay? Thank you.